All right, let's talk about it. Chiefs win back-to-back road games. Unbelievable. 42-37 in a shootout against the Steelers, and they moved to 2-0 on the season. Not something people could have possibly been expecting from this start. That is two incredibly difficult road games for a quarterback who was just making his second and third start. And today, no big deal. How about a perfect passer rating from Patrick Mahomes? 23 of 28, 326 yards, 6 touchdowns, no picks. 10 touchdowns in the first 2 games of a season is an NFL record. So he's already setting NFL records. 30 touchdowns, by the way, is the record by a Chiefs quarterback in a single season. He's already a third of the way there. He had more touchdowns today than he had incompletions. Solid second half on the ground for Kareem Hunt, 18 carries for 75 yards. Kind of helped seal that. I get it. There's going to be concerns about the defense. We'll get to that in a minute, but let's gush about Patrick Mahomes and this offense. They legitimately seem unstoppable. Travis Kelce, 7 catches, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Sammy Watkins, 6 catches, 100 yards. He also ran one for 31. Tyreek Hill ends up finishing 5 for 90 and a touchdown. Chris Conley had a touchdown today. Demarcus Robinson picked one up today. He threw touchdowns to 5 different receivers today. He had almost 3 100-yard players on that alone. And Hunt only had 1 catch for 6 yards. Tyreek Hill only 10 yards short in that second half, considering that. And they did a great job, right? Connor only had the ball 8 times on the ground. And that's an excellent work. That's all just in relation to how well they controlled this game. They held down Antonio Brown to 9 catches for 67 yards. That's a dream come true. But that doesn't tell the whole story. Juju Smith-Schuster completely torched them the entire game. Ben Roethlisberger threw the ball 60 times in this game. Now, some of that's just trying to play keep up with Patrick Mahomes. But you don't get to just play like, it's late fourth quarter, we're up defense. No, the defense was bad today. 452 yards, 3 touchdowns for Ben Roethlisberger. That's back-to-back games where the quarterback has performed incredibly well. But you don't walk out of that game feeling bad because of what the offense is. Not just can be, is. I'll take some of your thoughts down here in the Facebook Live as well if you've got some feelings on the game. The idea that they started 2-0, I thought maybe best case scenario was 1-1 in the first 2 games. I thought best case scenario was really starting 3-3 in those first 6 because they've got AFC champions on the docket, right? Patriots. They have the AFC contender, the Jaguars, an improving Broncos team, an improving 49ers team. And I thought, okay, they could get some wins there. That's not going to stop them from getting there. But what's going to stop them is it's too many tough games, too many tough ones on the road to kind of get there. No, it's not. It's not. Because Patrick Mahomes makes it all possible. I said before the game, the thing that they needed was big plays. They got nothing but it. Like Austin, that's why they drafted Mahomes. Smith was good. He'd never won that game. Smith targeted the running back, Chris Thompson, today 14 times. I mean, the Chiefs' defense has given up 65 points in the first 2 games, and they're still 2-0. Like, that's where this offense is right now. It's legitimately incredible what they're doing offensively. And it's not just like, we always talk about like Andy Reid and kind of his magical built-up skill set. This is exactly what you'd want it to be. This is what Andy Reid does. Well, he's good when he has lesser talent, not when he has Tyreek Hill, an emerging number 1, and not emerging, probably a number 1 wide receiver in the league, right? Top 10 the way he's playing right now, arguably top 5 in the NFL, and he outperformed a guy who most people would put ahead of him, Antonio Brown today. He outperformed him, right? And that was in a slow game for him. He picked up some of those things late. Now, defensively, let's get to that because we could talk all day about Patrick Mahomes. We could completely gush about that game. 6 touchdowns is a franchise record. It ties him with Lynn Dawson. It's only 1 off of the NFL record. As I mentioned earlier, 10 touchdowns in the first 2 games. That's an NFL record for the start of a season. That includes Peyton Manning in the year he set the passing touchdown record. Drew Brees. It's pretty good company when you're talking about Patrick Mahomes. I see someone saying, hey, is it me or did Justin Houston look pedestrian today? Well, on the play at least, the touchdown that Ben Roethlisberger running, he got held. He got held a couple of times today, and they didn't call it. They're not giving him some of that early stuff, but yes, the biggest problem with Justin Houston, he looked good in the pass game. When he was back there, he stopped some runs. He played that stuff fine, but he's paid to get sacks. Ben Roethlisberger dropped back today 60 times. 60 times. The Chiefs got how many turnovers? 0. Now, they were negative in the turnover differential and still won. And NFL statistics will tell you how difficult that is. Very rare. So 60 dropbacks, 0 turnovers. They got close with Fuller once, that's it. How many sacks? 1. 1. In 60 tries to get Big Ben today. 1. They had a couple of other opportunities where they kind of got near him, got close. He had a couple flips and shovels away. That could do it. And I don't know, maybe, on the CBS broadcast before the game, they were talking a little bit about, maybe EB would be coming back here soon. I saw that John there on Facebook said he can't get back soon enough. They talked about maybe they're still hoping him back for the next 2-3 weeks. I don't know. I can't count on Eric Berry until he starts actually practicing. It's been 33 days since he practiced. It's hard to say, I'm counting on Eric Berry. It's too hard to do that. Right now, what I can tell you is that somebody has got to do, you got to do something on defense to get pressure on the quarterback. And I'm not sure what the solution is if you don't have the talent. But my goodness, does it matter if your offense is this? Obviously, at some point it will catch up with you. But the idea of the number of points they've let up, yards they've let up, in all of this, they're still 2-0 on 2 difficult road games. You can't nitpick too much. That's a really tough stretch. No other team had to start back-to-back road games in the NFL, and they won them both. Both. That just says so much about where this team is right now. But they got to look. Steven Nelson, when he went down for a second, I'm like, oh boy, what's the solution now? Randall suggesting they got to sign Bashad Breeland. And I heard that there were injury concerns with him. So do they need help? Yes. Do they need a trade or whatever? And that's the one thing. Brett Veach hasn't been afraid of giving up a draft pick for a trade. They've got the extra second-round pick for Marcus Peters. And yeah, I'm sure some people just prefer to have Marcus Peters here, obviously, because he's a great player. But they have a little extra ammunition in the draft next year, so maybe there's some finagling. Maybe there's a team that's willing to trade somebody now, this year, that's already at that ability, if they've got someone they like, but they got to do something. We do appreciate the time. We'll do these every single pre-halftime post. We'll take your thoughts, in that. Obviously, someone's like, why are you talking about the defense? Sorry, we spend a lot of time talking about the offense. Bill, I apologize. If before we go, let's mention one more time. Patrick Mahomes was stunningly good today. It is remarkable how comfortable he is. He looks like a star. He had 6 touchdowns. That's a franchise record. It took the last guy, and he's tied with 5 or 6 guys, but it took them 40, 50, 60, 70 games to hit that mark. Patrick Mahomes did it in 3. He's got 10 touchdowns through 2 games. He threw over 300 yards and had a perfect passer rating. He's going to be AFC Player of the Week again. He is, through 2 weeks, the NFL's MVP. They've won back-to-back road games against playoff teams from last year, and he's done it with 10 touchdowns to boot. He's throwing a touchdown every 5 passes right now. It is truly incredible. The defense, that stuff will come along, but the fact that you got to hope that it does. But looking at Patrick Mahomes right now winning either of those games, doesn't matter what the defense did. 23 of 28, 326 yards, 6 touchdowns, no picks. He had 2 wide receivers who went for 100 yards and a third who went for 90. It's incredible. We'll be back for every single pre, halftime, and post. We'll be back for stay tuned for some exclusive content here on the A10 Facebook page, because we'll do some stuff on the sideline and stuff too, all leading up to the game. So those game days will be big as they get home next week. So we'll see you there, and we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.